Jazz get stung by Charlotte. And if I'm totally honest, there aren't a lot of explanations or excuses for the Utah Jazz other than a bunch of other young players outplayed them by a lot. It's next on POSTCAST. David Locke along with Ron Boone. And Ron, for a long time, I'm just, we've talked about this, and, usually you're the younger team. They started 3 rookies, Colin Sexton and Miles Bridges. They then brought KJ Simpson, who's a D-leaguer, off the floor. Diabate, who has bounced around and maybe finding a little bit after 3 years in Clippers. Trey Mann, who got released by Oklahoma City, is fine. Liam McNally is a rookie. Tejan Solana is a second-year player. There's no, we're younger than them tonight. There's no – there wasn't, in my opinion, a massive talent difference. The best player on the floor should have been Lowry. The second best player was probably Miles Bridges. The third best player should have been Keonte. And then probably it's a wash. Maybe Colin Sexton next. It to me did not seem like there should be a massive talent difference on the floor in this basketball game tonight. And it was a blowout.
It was definitely a blowout. I mean, the Jazz had no answer for whatever the Hornets was throwing at them, especially in that first quarter. And this is what I'm saying, Dave. I'm not sure. I've been trying to figure this out. If it's the defense is struggling right now to stop and keep teams from scoring. But on the other hand, the pressure defense of the last 3 opponents have really bothered the Jazz offensively. So the Jazz, which should they clean up first? I mean, the defense has to get better because I think they're getting the Jazz opponents are getting a lot of uncontested 3-point shots where they're just so far out of position that they can't recover to defend it.
Is this a fair take? Will Hardy and the Jazz came out with some pretty creative stuff to open the year. Scouting happens fast in this league. Portland started to write a script. Scouting is out, and now they're dealing with teams having an approach to play them, and so far they have no answer.
Yeah, I totally believe that as far as the Jazz defense is offense is concerned, because they're really just taking the Jazz. That pressure defense is really bothering the Jazz. Just think about who do we have other than Keonte that can really handle that pressure type defense, but like Portland probably, and I totally agree with you there, that the Jazz are not getting into the offense. I don't think they've shot a very good percentage. Well, they been respectable, but they haven't had a great shooting night since the Clippers.
Yeah, I mean, the Clippers let the Jazz just go into their offense, run their stuff without any restrictions at all. Sacramento kind of let the Jazz do the same thing. And then the Jazz played Phoenix, who I actually didn't think put a lot of, and then Portland came out and was like, okay, no, we're actually going to pressure every ball handler. We're going to make it tough. And the Jazz actually had a decent offensive night on that night, frankly. They scored pretty well. And the Jazz came in tonight with 11th best offense in the league. So it's not as though offense has been a big problem all year. But tonight, boy, the offense was the defense was bad and the offense was too. There's actually no way to stop it. But what was really eye-dropping tonight, Ron, was we get to halftime. Lowry's got 23. Everyone else at that point, including Keonte, is 9 of 29 and 1 of 13 from 3. It was a one-man show and we were down 23. And Lowry was a genius offensively at that point.
I think we were expecting a lot. As a matter of fact, I was expecting the Jazz to win tonight.
Yeah. No, they're favored on the road for the first time in 3 years.
Yeah. And it just didn't get it. They took the Jazz out of everything. And I totally agree. Markkanen, Lauri was the only one that was very aggressive and offensive minded. And so do we depend on, and maybe you have some numbers on this, do we depend on our execution of our offense to get us shots all the time? Do we have shot makers? Do we have playmakers, the guys that can break the defense down and make our teammates better? Other than Keonte, haven't seen a lot of that.
I'm a little surprised. We're only 6 games in. I'm a little surprised that somebody other than Lowry and Keonte hasn't had a good game yet. I actually thought the story this season was going to be kind of us bouncing from one guy to another and like, Taylor Hendricks, we have some positive things to talk about. 14.7 rebounds. That's by far his best game. We'll get to that in a second. But I really thought that this was going to be kind of like, one night Bryce Sensabaugh has a good night. One night Walt Clayton has a good night. One night Ace Bailey has a good night. One night Taylor Hendricks has a good night. One night Kyle Filipowski has a good night. That has not really happened yet.
It has not. And, that's what just boils down to what I was just talking about, is that are the Jazz using strictly the the execution for certain players, or to where they're not being creative. And you look at the roster, who else, can get it done?
Well, here's two little interesting notes. I'm going to share some interesting stat notes. So the Jazz are getting the least amount of spot-up shots of anyone in the NBA, according to Synergy, but they're the best in the league at making them, which is a little daunting because I don't think we can continue to be that good a shooting team, and you need to get spot-ups. Now, in catch and shoots, we're getting about the 9th or 10th. Lowry leads the NBA in catch and shoots, but what we're not getting is Lowry or someone creates and they're kicking to somebody else for a shot, I think is what that says. The other one that is at least worth keeping an eye on is on one level, the Jazz are doing a great job defensively of forcing teams off the rim and into threes. We're allowing the most threes in the league. I'll get to Ron on that in a second. But we're also have the second worst shot location offensively. We're not getting to the rim. We're 29th in rim attempts. We're taking the most amount of short mid-range shots in the NBA, the third most amount of mid-range shots overall in the NBA. And so our offensively, we're not getting, at least analytically, the good looks right now.
That's an interesting stat, that they're the type of shots, and what you boil down to is the type of shots that the Jazz are getting, right? So that gives me the impression that they're making a lot more tough shots than they are uncontested or, with the good looks.
All right, we're going to talk about Taylor Hendricks, who was a positive tonight, and we are going to talk about the three-point defense, because Ron Boone was talking about that a lot. But first, let me tell you that tonight's show, or tonight's postcast, is brought to you in part by Robinhood. Robinhood Gold. Robinhood brings your ambition, has met its match. With Robinhood, you play for the win, not just on game day, every day, locking in on every opening, beating your PR, beating it again, channeling that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money, trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto, all on one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood's Legend advanced tools, or take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself, expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Today's show is also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is the official ticketing app of Locked On, and an opportunity for you to get tickets to each and every event that you want to go to. Go now to the Game Time app. Use Game Time and get last-minute deals, whatever it is. The app is friendly. It's the ultimate life hack for tickets because it's fast, easy, and stress-free. You can get tickets in just minutes. You can put the zone deals in. They're a game changer. You can pick the section. Game Time picks your seats, and you save big. You can't even get tickets for under $25. Take guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Let's talk Taylor Hendricks. He got the start tonight for the Utah Jazz. He was slow in the first quarter, but that third quarter was really strong. 14.7 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds. I thought we saw some athleticism out of him that we haven't seen as he works his way back. 2 threes. And interesting that he went into the starting lineup tonight.
Minutes are going to be the most important thing of his growth. And, you end up getting 25 minutes tonight, and he looked good, 5 for 8 from the field. But you look at how active he was more so than how many points he scored. And, those type of things starts to make you a much better basketball player. What do you have? 7 rebounds, 4 of those came on the offensive glass. Just being active, and believe me, he'll get better.
One of the things that's really interesting is Sensabaugh played 9 minutes, Cody Williams played 9 minutes, Filipowski played 16. It is just not clear who's going to own these minutes. They are there for the taking. Elijah Harkless is sitting back fuming, and as somebody said to us, there is a there is a like lion in the forest coming out ready, and Isaiah Collier, who's in Salt Lake City in the G League, getting ready to come grab minutes. So it's going to be interesting. Taylor getting a first chance here as a starter. All right, you talked about the 3-point defense a lot. Jazz are doing a great job of denying the rim this year. You have to choose something to take away, and the Jazz have generally done a pretty good job of the rim until tonight. Tonight, Charlotte took 33% of their shots at the rim. Jazz actually took 37. There is a level of this I want to just clarify. Scorekeepers in the building make a big issue on there is not a universal way to count rim shots, but let's go with the concept that the Jazz have denied the rim fairly well until tonight, but it also means they are allowing a lot of threes.
Yeah. So that means that, first of all, denying the rim, Kessler is not here. Nurkic is not necessarily a shot blocker. He's more of a position player down in the paint, uses his body. If you notice when he rebounds, David, he doesn't hardly rebound. He bends guys off and rebounds with one hand, that type of thing. So he's not going to block a lot of shots. So if that's the case, there's going to be a lot of dribble penetration, which is going to Jazz defense will have to collapse. And now what comes next? 3-point shooting. And that's what we saw tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you make a great point. I didn't make it that Walker Kessler wasn't here. And Walker, we're maybe going to see firsthand the incredible value of having Walker Kessler protecting the rim and curtailing people from taking shots. We have no one, right? If you are the other team, your scouting report is attack the rack. Kevin Love, Yusuf Nurkic, not rim, are on the ground players. They are not going to stop you. Kyle Filipowski is not going to stop you. You are attack. If you're Boston and you're Jaylen Brown and you are Derek White, you are coming at the rim with ferocity because of the fact that this is your night to get to the rim in the NBA.
And we've also talked about the zone and make sure the Jazz be playing zone, or I know they would like to start playing the zone, but is this a good time to start playing a zone with Kessler being out? Now that's up to the coaches. If your rebounding becomes a problem with the zone because you're not in position to box anyone out for the most part, so it can be difficult. I mean, it's coaches' decisions on, what to do with a team like this.
Maybe this conversation in the immediacy of the game afterwards, I've missed the Walker point. Like, maybe that's a bigger point than we realized. Our first game without Walker, and maybe that changed a whole lot to this game. It means that Yusuf Nurkic, who would be one of the best backup centers in the NBA, is not on the floor as a great backup center. He's probably in the bottom 5 of starting centers in the NBA. Maybe that in itself is one of the few advantages the Jazz had every night, and that when the minute that goes away, it's just a stark difference. We'll see. This was a disappointing night against a shorthanded Charlotte team. We'll see where they go. Will is trying to get this team to play to win every night. He does not want them just to play. He wants them to play to win, and that's how. And he'll keep pushing that, and we'll see whether they can execute better.
Okay, going forward though, getting the minutes out there on the floor for certain guys out there on the floor is really going to make a big difference. But I think they're going to get better. We use Taylor Hendricks as an example here tonight, and we'll see him grow. The more minutes he gets, you'll see him grow a lot more. A couple of chances he had down in the paint there where he tried to, dunk, got hit. But just being active and that way his game will definitely.
Well, we're seeing that at Keonte. I mean, the year 2 to year 3 jump from Keonte. Yes. Another great game tonight. 25 points, 7 assists, 9 free throw attempts, 25 points on 18 free throws. He's still not finding the 3 yet. When he finds the 3, it's another scale for him. So, there's a lot. Like, we're seeing that growth out of Keonte, who is in that 3rd year of development. For the other guys, still a lot of head swimming right now. A lot of stuff going on. Jazz lose it to Charlotte, down 20 most of the night. They lose by 23. That wraps us on POSTCAST.